نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Continuing with our effort to understand few verses of Quran in our daily programs, we are today reciting verse number 21 and 22 of Al-Baqarah. Verse number 21 and 22. Inshallah, I hope the viewers shall be holding a copy of Quran in their hands and concentrating their attention on these particular verses. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, Ubudu Rabbakum, worship your Lord, Alladhi khalaqakum, who has created you, Wallatina min qablikum, and those before you, La'allakum tattaqun, so that you become God-fearing or you become pious or righteous. Alladhi, it is He, that's God, Ja'ala lakumul arda firasha, who has made this earth as a resting place for you or a couch for you, Wasama'a bina'a, and these heavens as a canopy above, وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and it is He who sends down waters from the heavens. فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ, and He brings forth فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ رِزْقًا لَكُمْ, sustenance for you in the form of fruits. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا, so make not rivals or equals with Allah the Almighty. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, when you know. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. This is the literal translation of these verses. We shall try to repeat it and try to get maximum out of it. Ya ayyuhan nas, ya ayyuhan means oh. Ya ayyuhan nas means people or mankind, humankind. Ubudu means worship. Rabbakum, Rabb means your Lord or sustainer. Kum means yours. Rabbakum, your Lord. Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, ubudu, worship, Rabbakum, your Lord, alladhi, who, khalaqakum, khalaq means creation, khalaqakum, who has created you, walladina, and those, min qablikum, who were before you, la'allakum, so that you, tattaqun, become pious or righteous. Alladhi, He who, that's God, alladhi khalaqa lakum, alladhi, it is He, ja'ala, who made lakum, for you, al-arda, this earth, firasha, a couch or a resting place, wasama, and these heavens, Wasama bina'a, a canopy or a covering. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, and who sends down from the heavens, ma'a, water, that rains, فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ, and with it He brings forth, مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ, in the form of fruits, رِزْقًا لَكُمْ, sustenance for you. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا, so make not, andada, rivals with Allah, وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, when you know. So this is the meaning of these verses, or the words of these verses. Now we shall try to understand the underlying meaning. Both these verses are very, very important. Before embarking on understanding the real meanings or in-depth understanding of these verses, one thing is to be kept in mind, which I tried to explain briefly yesterday too, so I shall repeat it, of course, in a brief way. That means Quran intends or asks its readers, like you and me, as we are embarking on reading and reciting Quran. So Quran wants or asks me, you, and everybody who tries to read and understand Quran to go in depth in understanding and get or grasp its spirit, and then have faith in it. Because Quran starts with ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, this is the book wherein no doubt is conceivable. So Quran asks its readers to understand this Quran in depth, because this is the last message of Allah for the humankind, number one. Number two, after trying to understand it in this depth, have faith in it, because this is word of God. So God's knowledge is without any doubt or doubt-free knowledge. So it asks its readers to have full faith and belief in it. And number three, then it prepares, this Quran prepares its readers for the onward transmission of the message of Quran. That is, Quran prepares every Muslim, every believing Muslim, having a perfect belief, to act as a da'i. Da'i means who conveys this divine message to others. This is the purpose of Quran. That's how Quran prepares its readers. we have seen in these verses. It's like this. The Quran we have understood so far. See, since Quran prepares its readers for the onward transmission of the message, it makes him understand in the first instance, oh man, oh reader of Quran, oh perfect believer, once you shall start conveying this message of Quran to others, you shall confront three kinds of people. You shall find in this world three kinds of people. Number one, there will be some who shall believe in your message, and they shall be believers, and they are on they will be on the guidance of the path, and they shall attain prosperity. And number two, there will be some, once you convey the message, they shall reject your message outright, and they are the rejectors of faith, polytheists or atheists or infidels. They shall reject your faith point blank. And number three, there will be some people who will be hypocrites. That means declaring faith with verbal declaration, of course with their lips and tongues, but in their hearts of hearts, they shall not accept it. This is not they will be your enemies from within. So be careful about them too. After making a da'i or a reader of Quran to understand what kind of people he shall face once he starts delivering this message or conveying this message to the people around, then Quran in these verses what we are studying today makes him understand what message is to be conveyed to people, to whole humankind. That's why Quran, these verses, verse number 21 starts with this message, Ya Yunas, O people. Here we have to understand, since we know philosophical basis of Quran, there are three bases of Quran, Islam. Number one, belief in one God, omnipotent and omniscient God, all-powerful, creator and sustainer. Number two, the second basis of Islam is prophethood. That is to believe in all the prophets sent by Allah right from Adam down to last and still the messengers, Lord Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. And number three, to make a reader or a believer understand that this world is a temporary life, and after death, real life starts, and every person is responsible for his or her deeds which he commits in this world and is accountable on the day of judgment. And accordingly, he will be judged and then either rewarded or punished. This is the concept of the life hereafter. So this is the message which Quran intends to convey to all humankind through through you and me, who have started systematic study of Quran, and who, inshallah, everybody amongst us has taken an oath in presence of Allah the Almighty that we have started this Quran, we shall try to understand its real message, and then we have faith in it, inshallah, with the grace of Allah, Almighty Allah, and then inshallah we shall convey its message. So what is the message of Quran? That is now explained in these verses. See, O people, O humankind, worship your Lord who has created you and those before you so that you become pious and righteous. This is the first message to be conveyed. Now let's try to understand this verse in detail. Ya Yunas, firstly, to start with, it is Ya Yunas, O humankind, O mankind, O people. This the first part, or just two words of this verse, have a quite different significance. That means this Quran, or the message of Quran, was not meant for people of Mecca or for Medinites. No, it is meant for all humankind. That's why we shall find elsewhere in Quran on many places. Kul, O messenger, tell them, Ya Yunas, O mankind, Inni Rasulullah ilaykum jami'a. I have been sent as a messenger to one and all, to all of you. As we see in Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. O Muhammad, peace upon him, we have sent you as a mercy for whole humankind, for all the worlds. So this is here first thing to be considered, that Islam, message of Islam or message of Quran is not confined to a tribe, to a place, or is not bound by the limitations of time and space. It is a universal message and it is meant for all. Nobody can contest this view. Maybe some people feel, sometimes they argue that, okay, once we have a group of people before us, whether they are Arabs or non-Arabs, we tell them, oh people. That means here again people are meant those who were immediate audience of Muhammad, peace be upon him, that's Meccans or Medinites. But this argument cannot be taken, cannot be taken seriously. Because we see towards the end of the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when almost whole Arabia was conquered, and it came under the banner of Islam and Quran when Muhammad, peace be upon him, was on the verge of completion of his mission of conveying the message and making whole Arabian Peninsula obedient servants of God. If Muhammad, peace be upon him, didn't stop here, we find in history that immediately what Muhammad, peace be upon him, did, our beloved Prophet, that he appointed certain emissaries or ambassadors, and through written invitations or written dawah, he dispatched some people to Egypt, to the ruler of Egypt, and a person or a group of people to the rulers of Syria, and some people to Iran, to Khosrow Parvez or Kisra, what we call in Urdu, and then some of them even to Roman Empire, the leaders, Caesar and others, that asking them, okay, this is the religion of peace, this is the last message of Allah the Almighty, so I invite you to accept this faith. This was quite a direct indicator that this Quran or the message of Islam was not meant for only people of Arabs, or it was not to be confined to those people who were the immediate audience of the Prophet, peace be upon him. That's why at the time of the last pilgrimage, what we call Hajjatul Wida, Muhammad, peace be upon him, asked the audience, which was around 124,000 obedient followers of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and servants of Allah the Almighty. He conveyed the message, oh people, didn't I convey God's message to you? They said, yeah. Oh Muhammad, peace be upon him, you did it, and you did it well. The Prophet entrusted them the job. Okay, you bear testimony that I have conveyed this message to you. Now I entrust this job to you. Henceforth it shall be your duty to convey this message to one and all, to different people, to different countries, you shall have to travel to different continents, and everybody, till you fulfill this mission as I have fulfilled my mission of conveying this message. So this first part of this verse is very important. Ya Nas, O mankind, that's the message of Islam and Quran is meant for whole mankind. Then was the message, Ubudu, worship. Worship Rabbakum, your Lord. So this is very important, Ubudu. You should remember here. And generally, we see word Ubudu, Ibadah. Since we have certain limitations in all the language, like in English, we have no alternate word except to say Ubudu means worship. And in Urdu or Hindi, Indian language, we say Puja Paat, Puja Karo, Allah ki. But these words have quite limited scope as in comparison to the word Ibadah. Because Ibadah doesn't mean just a worship or fulfilling certain or completing certain rituals of upright and then bending down and going to prostration or completing certain rituals. Ibadah of Quran doesn't convey this, because Quran says, it's not me, it's Quran says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have created all the humans and the invisible beings, that's jinn, for worship, for Ibadah. That means Ibadah in Quran means to become obedient servants of God, to follow divine instructions in every walk of life, whether it is eating, drinking, earning, spending, social relations, politics, national or local affairs, international affairs, buying or selling, marriage or divorce, everything whatever you do in your life, and in such all dimensions or aspects of life, to follow divine instruction of God as conveyed through this Quran, that is Muhammad, peace upon him, is to be followed. That's Ibadah. So that's to be taken care of. Don't take Ibadah as puja part. Don't take it as a limited, as the limited word in English we use, worship. Word worship cannot do justice with the Arabic or Quranic word of Ibadah. It's too wide. It means everything you do right from the early morning you wake up until you sleep in the night, or the time you are born in this world until your last breath when you are put in the grave. Whatever you do and whatever you do, a person is expected to follow divine instructions. That is Ibadah. In every walk, where you walk, or whether you walk on the street or you talk, whether you are confined, with your own self, that's just, or you are in the company of others, whether it is war or it is peace, wherever you are, you have to follow it. That's it. Ya Nas, O people, O mankind, Ubudu, worship Rabbakum, your Lord. Alladhi khalaqakum, who has created you. This is very important. Quran says Rabbakum was again used. That means worship your Lord. Lord, what does Lord mean? As explained in explanatory notes of Al-Fatiha, Rabb doesn't mean just a creator. Rabb means Lord. Rabb means nourisher, cherisher, manager, coordinator, and everything. After creation, who takes care of everything and provides sustenance to one and all. That's Rabb. So Quran takes care that God is not just creator. He is your Lord. He has created you and then provided this earth and everything around. Ya Nas, O humankind, ubudu, worship Rabbakum, your Lord. Alladhi khalaqakum, who is created. Why should you worship God? There's a question mark. Sometimes a person may feel, why should I? Quran has an answer. Alladhi khalaqakum. Because He has created you. He has created you. Walladina minkum, not only you. Walladhi, because sometimes you feel, I have been created. Can anybody think that I have been created by my father? Or does my mother had any role in my creation? Poor fellows didn't know what's happening in the womb of my mother. Father didn't know it. He was unconcerned. Mother was carrying me in her uterus or in her womb, but she didn't know what's happening inside. Right from the time of conception to the delivery. Khalaqakum means everything. That's in different embryonic stage. Right from, as Quran puts it, right from nutfa down to alaka, then to mudga, then izama, then lahma. 5 stages of creation. And then organogenesis, how organ formation takes place, and how this lump of flesh developing in the womb turns into a living being. Then soul or spirit is put into it. Who does it? How it happens? Has mother any role? Does father know what's happening? And even did I know where am I? How I'm passing through one stage to another? Nobody knows. Nobody knew. Neither father, neither mother, nor me, nor anybody. I didn't know myself even after I was born. When I was 6 months old, 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, I didn't know anything about my own self. How come I had any role in my own creation? One more thing. I didn't have a role. My mother, father, mother, or anybody didn't. My ancestors didn't have any role. Somebody may say it happens by accident. It's unfortunate. Modern, some group of scientists take it as an accident. It is impossible. Man, if we think about it, brothers and sisters, if we think, can it be accident? Everything going to a perfect plan. A simple drop, that is sperm. What is its dimension? What is its dimension? I think you'll be knowing it. It's 1 by 600 parts of an inch, a sperm. Because a male, when he ejaculates at one time, he produces a spoonful of sperms. Spoonful. And that spoonful, how much sperms it does. It's not just 1 or 2 sperms. It is around 200 million or even more. That means in Indian language, we may say 20 to 25 crore sperms are in just 1 teaspoon, in 1 chamach, which a male produces at a time. And you are created from 1. Imagine, you are 200 millionth part of that. That's just a dot, as Quran calls it, nutfa. There's a small, not drop, not even droplet. And with that droplet, sperm, the small thing, joins or fertilizes an ovum or an egg, which is produced by the female. And what's the dimension? It's again, of course, slightly larger than the sperm. It is 1 by 200th part of an inch. These two join together, and an embryo is formed. It develops into an embryo. And then that embryo produces me, my eyes, my hands, my heart, my kidneys, my brains, my limbs, my everything. So where from does it come? Does mother provide anything? It comes all from the dot, from inside, the small droplets. So everything is inside, nothing from outside. So Quran has say, can it be an accident? How come? That uterus, the best possible place, as Quran puts it. As Quran puts it in Surah Muminun, ثُمَّ جَعَلْنَا نُطْفَةً فِي قَرَارٍ مَكِينٍ. Then we pour this drop, the sperm drop is placed in a preserved and well-guarded place. That's uterus or womb. ثُمَّ خَلَقْنَا النُّطْفَةَ عَلَقَةً. Then the small droplet is changed or gets converted into a thing which clings to the womb of the mother. Then فَخَلَقْنَا الْعَلَقَةَ مُضْغَةً. Then the small thing that hangs from the uterus turns into a lump of flesh, a lump of huge flesh. فَخَلَقَ الْمُضْغَةَ عِظَامًا. Then out of this lump of flesh come out bones, small bones. فَكَسَّرْنَا الْعِظَامَ لَحْمًا. Then these bones are clothed, are covered with true flesh. These are differences. ثُمَّ أَنْشَأْنَا خَلْقًا آخَرَ. Then we create you in a different way, a different form, and you are produced and you are delivered. This is chapter Al-Mu'minun, verse number 13 and 14. As rightly put by one of the great embryologists and embryologists of modern times, I mean Professor Keith Elmore, his book, which is being taught in different medical schools all over the world, including India, North America, Europe, and others. He, after reading Quran, this great Keith Elmore says that it was surprisingly shocking to me when I found in Quran not only different stages of embryonic development of a human being, he explains it in this great work, which is being taught throughout world in medical schools, medical college. See the pictures, different pictures at different places, how human beings are developed. This is it. He says, it is impossible to believe that all these stages are discussed by Muhammad, peace upon him. He had no source to understand all this unless and had to take it for granted that this message was conveyed to him by God, because human beings couldn't know it 1400 years back. He says the different stages, that is nutfa, alaka, mudga, izama, then lahma. 5 stages. Quran doesn't, Keith Elmore writes that it's not only different stages, they explained in Quran are perfect, but the sequence of events is perfect. Sequence is also perfect, as we know in 20th, later part, or the last part of the 20th century, and at the beginning of 21st century. So how the Quran says, Ya ayyuhan-nas, O people. I just give an example. Otherwise, it's too vast a subject. It cannot be done just in this small half an hour period of ours. Ya ayyuhan-nas, O mankind, O people, ubudu rabbakum, worship your Lord. Why should you worship? Alladhi khalaqakum, because He has created you. Not only you, وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. Your parents had no role in your creation. In fact, they too were created the same way as you were created now. And the way you are responsible for the creation of your offsprings, and you have no role. It is وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. He has created those who came before you. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Why should you worship? So that you become pious and righteous. This is the scientific argument of Quran. Quran has a different way of inviting people to faith. That Quran delivers a message, asks readers to follow a command, then give the scientific argument why should you follow it, and then says if you follow it, what will be its benefits for you. This is the perfect verse to explain all the 3 phases. Number 1, it commands, Ya ayyuhan-nas ubudu. O people, worship Rabbakum, your Lord. Why? Alladhi khalaqakum walladhina min qablikum. Because He has created you and the people who came before you. Then, la'allakum tattaqun. If you do it, you shall become pious, you shall become righteous, you shall become God-fearing. You will be saved from the ultimate disaster. You shall attain prosperity in this world as well as total success in the life hereafter. So this is, the Quran goes a step beyond, talking about your own self from within. Now Quran invites your attention towards the external world. Alladhi, who, that's God. Not only He didn't create you only, He didn't create your parents and your ancestors. Alladhi, it is He, ja'ala lakum al-arda firasha, who has made this earth as a resting place for you. Perfect resting place for you. Think about Quran says, think about this earth. This is first, it's a carpet. First means carpet. It means a couch. The best possible resting place. Quran says, think about it. What is this earth? If we start thinking about it, it is difficult to understand what this earth is. This is earth which has been made into car. What's it? It is a big ball. It's a big ball. Imagine a ball which is 6 trillion metric tons, weighing 6 trillion tons. 6 trillion metric tons. A ball. Imagine. If I hold a small book like this in this, take this universe as mini universe, this room, and if I drop, so can it hold itself in the middle in the air? Can it? It shall fall. Or if I throw it, it shall go up. It can't be here. So imagine just weighing few grams, just 200, 300 grams weighing this book. Imagine a ball, a big mammoth ball, Earth, weighing 6 trillion tons. What is 6 trillion? There's a homework for you, the young readers who are listening to this program. It is 6 followed by 21 zeros. That is the weight of this earth. 6 followed by 6, 0, 0, 0, 0, 21 zeros. That's the and that big ball. No support from down, from beneath. No support. Earth doesn't have any support from the beneath. Nor are any ropes which are holding it on its sides. Nor any chain from which it can hang down. No chains, no ropes, no support. Still a big 6 trillion ton weighing ball in this hanging, and not only hanging but in motion, having terrible motion. What kind of motion? One motion which makes days and nights in at its own pivot, having a speed of 600 kilometers per hour. Under speed through which Earth moves around Sun. That speed is 69,200 kilometers per hour. Imagine 69,200 kilometers. Third speed, with which this whole solar system together with this Earth moves around this galaxy, towards the edge of this galaxy. That speed is 1,07,200 kilometers. This 3 speeds simultaneously running, this Earth running in three speeds. A big mammoth ball. And what's it? What this ball is? Earth we call in cosmic language, we call it a blue planet. Why blue planet? Because we know on this Earth there is 73% water, only 27% land mass. So when we see from a distance, if we go to moon or in space and look towards Earth, it appears only water. Earth is the land is not visible so clearly. It's water. From what? So it's imagine like a water ball, which we used to play during the childhood. A water ball having a string and then it's moving at fast speed. Water didn't fall. But this Earth cannot be even that water ball. Firstly, there is no string to hold it. It's the ball, self-sufficient in itself. Number two, it moves at a terrible speed, 1,600 kilometers, 69,200 kilometers, 1,07,200 kilometers, simultaneous all the three speeds. Number two, last but not the least, in our water ball, water is from inside, and there's a covering, so water cannot fall. But this Earth is a different kind of water ball. What is it? That water on the outside and covering from inside. So everywhere water. So this big ball weighing 6 trillion tons is a big ball of water on the outside, but not even a drop falls moving at this terrible, tremendous speed. What does Quran says? Think about it. This is from outside. Go into the Earth inside. Inside it is fire, fire, and fire. If we go into the depth of Earth, what's it? Which go down. The temperature starts moving from 15, then 20 degrees centigrade. It comes to 100 degrees. We go deeper and deeper. It reaches 500 degrees Celsius. Go into the depth. It reaches 2,200 degrees Celsius temperature. When you reach the center of Earth, the core of Earth, you'll be shocked or surprised. The temperature at the core is 5,000 degrees Celsius. Imagine. It is temperature beyond our imagination. So on which Earth we are staying? A water ball from outside, and internally we are staying on a hot ball, fireball, and still we are living. No human being falls, and not only this fire inside Earth we have oceans of petroleum and diesel and petroleum. We have LPG, liquefied petroleum gas reserves within, but there's an explosion. There's terrible insulation. There are rocks melting, molten rocks, molten gold, silver, because it's like a terrible temperature on the face of it. On the upper layer, there's a green carpet of forests, vegetation, plantation, animals, humans, everything in Quran says. Think about it. Who is it by accident? Anybody who says this is an accident, please take him to some mental hospital. Don't be cheated by his dress, by his language, or by his gestures. Because, if somebody tells me that this book was created in itself, because I didn't see its creator, so this book must be created of its own. So what can you think about a person? So if you don't see God, that doesn't mean God isn't there. If you don't see the creator, that doesn't mean creator is not there. Creation, it in itself speaks about the creation or creator. So this Earth has been moving around, are doing its duty of obedience to God for the last 4.6 billion years. The difference of not even a single fraction of a second. Atomic second means 1/10,000th part of a second. So it is perfection, total perfection. So this is Earth. So I can't go beyond. I'm sorry, because this is too long a subject. It may take weeks and months altogether to explain a small part of Quranic verse. Quran says, worship your Lord, O people, worship your Lord who has created you and those who came before you, so that you become pious and righteous. It's not only you has created, or your parents and offsprings and ancestors and forefathers. No, yes, this is Earth who has created, Alladhi Ja'ala lakum arda firasha, who has made this Earth as the perfect resting place for you, as a couch for you. Somewhere else, Quran also says that I have created this as a mihada. Alam najal arda mihada. Mihada means, imagine, 1400 years back, mihada means a cradle. A cradle is a place where we put a baby, and then it moves around, and it gives him peace and solace, and he falls asleep. So resting place. Quran talks about 1400 years, Alam najal arda mihada. Didn't I make this earth as a cradle for you? That speaks of talking about that this earth is in motion. A motion which you cannot imagine, but it provides you everything, like the lap of your mother, as if you are sitting in a cradle or in the lap of your mother. Alladhi ja'ala lakum arda firasha. It is He who has created this earth as a resting place for you. Wasama bina, and has made the heavens as a canopy. As a canopy He has created. That means, you should remember, you know it well, that when Quran talks about sama, or heavens, or this what's above, it is meant everything which when we look up, what is upside. That means starting from this atmosphere, different layers of atmosphere, which is around 100 kilometers thick atmospheric blanket around, and it starts diluting till it reaches 1,000. It reaches around 1,000 kilometers, and then it's finished at no atmosphere. Beyond that, we see planets, stars, moons, suns, galaxies. How many of them? As per Carl Sagan, one of the greatest experts on astronomical studies, who was one of the directors of California-based NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. In this book, Billions and Billions, his book, Carl Sagan's, he explained the vastness of this universe, which is beyond scope of we can't imagine it here. It is billions and billions. He explains not only this in another book, Cosmos, by the same author, Carl Sagan, one of the directors of NASA. And in nutshell, he says this universe, or this heavens, or this cosmic system consists of around 200 billion galaxies. 200 billion galaxies. And each galaxy has around 200 billion stars. And number of planets is around, how many? It is around 10 billion trillion. 10 billion trillion planets. This is the Sama as explained by Quran. So Quran says, it is He who has created this earth as a resting place for you, and then made canopy in the form of heavens. And وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and it is He who sends down waters from the heavens. By process of distillation, the sun shines around 150 kilometers away. That means 15 crore kilometers away. Its heat which reaches Earth, sun in itself is a thermonuclear furnace. Helium atoms join together. Hydrogen atoms joining and producing helium. There's a nuclear flare, a tremendous amount of heat, energy, and light produced, and that some part 1/2 billionth of energy or heat reaching Earth, which boils, which sustains life on this planet, and waters of oceans get boiled, and vapors come up. These vapors are taken up by winds, and then they get condensed into clouds, and then these condensed clouds are carried by winds, fast-moving winds, until reach their destinations. Then precipitation takes place, and these clouds are converted back into droplets of rain or snow and fall down. So what says, Quran says, think about, is it by accident? Is it everything by accident? How is it? Impossible, impossible. So Quran says, it is, people, worship your Lord who has created you, who has created people who came before you, and then it is He who has made this earth. Think about this earth. Is it by accident or by design? It is the big ball, and then this heavens which are above, and it is through His planning. We see the water cycle as explained here, water cycle or hydrobiology, how this whole earth together with its atmosphere acting as a perfect ecosystem. Perfect ecosystem. Creating water, then the water falling down along streams and oceans coming down. It's being used by man, by animals, by plantations, and goes back to oceans, and again gets boiled and goes up. So it's a cycle, the cycle which has been going on on this earth for the last 4.6 billion years with total perfection. So imagine, Quran says, it is. And with the falling, when he brings down water from heavens, what happens? This earth becomes fertile. فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ رِزْقًا لَكُمْ. And through this agency of water, he brings forth fruits as a provision for you. He brings forth. That means there is vegetation, there are food grains, everything which are being eaten by animals, and that those animals are being eaten by man, or this vegetation is eaten by man directly. So there's sustenance of life through this. Quran says, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. So make not rivals. Make not andada means rivals, partners, equals. So make not rivals and equals with Allah. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. When you know all these things are done by none other than God. So this is the first message of Islam and Quran. That what's it? O people, worship your Lord, who has created you, who has created your ancestors and forefathers, who has made this earth as a resting place for you, who has made this heavens as a canopy, and it is he who sends down waters from heavens, and with the help of that agency of water, he brings forth fruits as a provision for you, as for your sustenance, and you eat and drink. When you know that everything is done by through perfect design, perfect planning, and behind every planning there is a planner. Different behind every design there should be a designer. When you know this, so make not equals. So make not partners with God. Firstly, believe in God, that it's not afterthought, it's not by accident, and simultaneously feel it that this is one omnipotent, omniscient, all-powerful God, who is the planner, who is the designer, who is the sustainer, who is nourisher, and who is cherisher. When you know it, so worship Him alone. When you know all these things, these phenomena are being controlled by none other than one God. So why should you make rivals or equals with Him? This is the first message as conveyed in these two verses. Sadaqallahu al-Azim wa sadaqa Rasuluhu an-Nabiy al-Kareem walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.